Hey everyone, I'm Polo back with some more Elite Things. Today I'm just going to be doing a quick Beginner Kindred video of pretty much my top 5 tips that I think a new player should learn to kind of get better at Kindred. The order will be from 5 to first as most important, so I'll start with 5, which is the least important, but it can help you make a lot of plays in games, and it's very beneficial to learn because it can actually help, but it's not the most important thing. So, for me, for 5, in my opinion, would be to learn your harder wall jumps. A lot of people know that Kindred can do basic wall jumps, like you can kind of queue over little thin walls like this. People know that. It's not really that hard. But what a lot of people don't know is Kindred, like many other champions with a short range dash, can actually queue over thicker walls if you put your mouse in the right spot and you stand in the right spot, due to the way that dashes and blinks work in the league, where your character model would have to be able to go at least a certain distance into the wall to be spit out on the other side. I don't remember the exact percentage of the wall you'd have to go through, but yeah, that's how that works. So for example, with this red buff, a lot of people don't know you can queue this red ball. What I try to do is, you can see right here on this moss, there's like a little kind of like U that comes out here. I like to try to go on this little middle part where that sticks out. I like to try to click on that, and then you kind of get really close to the log like that. And then I like to line my mouse up with this little crack or indent on the rock. That's what I like to do. I like to line it up there, and then you queue, and then you're over the wall. This can help you go for some invades, some cheesy plays. It can get you out like of dangerous situations in the jungle, or chase people down. You can do the same on the reverse. To do it on the reverse, all you have to do is just kind of click into the wall right here on this crack, so you can't move anymore. And then in these trees right here, you can see the dark spot. Put your mouse here, and you're over the wall very easily. That's very easy. You can do that on both the red sides. I'll show you the lineup on the other red side in a second. Another thing though that a lot of people don't know with Kindred is you can actually queue thicker walls, like this wall. What I like to do to queue this wall is I like it to come over here and you kind of walk into the wall till you can't anymore. And then I line my mouse up with this bottom little line on the stone here at the bottom left of the screen. I try to get in the middle of it and then press Q, and it's a little finicky like that. So you have to make sure that you are in the right spot, and then you kind of do this, and there you go. It's again, it's a little finicky because it's obviously a lot harder to do, and you kind of have to be more accurate with it so you can mess up like that. Another one though is for the reverse. Is what I like to do is I like to stand in this big crack right here, and then I try to put my mouse right here on this little split in the log on the red pit, and then Q, and you'll go on to the reverse. Again, these ones are a little bit more finicky, and you're going to need to practice them a lot if you want to be able to consistently do them without failing. But you're probably going to mess them up a few times, especially the thicker ones over here. To do the reverse of the red side over here, what I like to do is, you can see there's this grass on the side of this wall. It's kind of dull, but you can see there's 3 little lines, one here, one here, and here. I like to click in the middle on the biggest line until it doesn't let you move anymore, like that. And then you put your mouse on the right side of this tombstone. And again, it's finicky, and sometimes you're gonna mess it up, but I like to do that, and then Q, and then you're over the wall like that. You just have to kind of make sure you're standing in the right spot, because it's very, very finicky. Again, you can just kind of stand in the wrong spot. If you stand even slightly off, like obviously you want to stand right here to do it, but if you're not in the exact right spot, it's going to mess up. So you can see my character just moved very slightly because I clicked once, and then it works. It's literally like a pixel perfect thing sometimes. So you're going to mess up that stuff a lot, especially when you're learning it. And I mean, I still do, which see now. Another thing is kind of like for the reverse, I kind of just click under the log, or the branch right there, and then just line up on the bottom part of this little raptor rock, and let you queue over. Another one is you can queue over this side too. What you do with this one is try to click in so you're in the deepest spot of the wall, like right here. Put your mouse on the left side of this tombstone and queue, and you'll get over. This side is a lot harder in my opinion because you can barely see where you want to line up. But what I like to try to do is I try to line up here with the bottom part of this little pine tree. And then you put your mouse right here. It's very hard to see, but there's a little leaf sticking out of this pine tree that my mouse is tracking right now. You want to put your mouse on the tip of that, and then Q, and you'll go back over. It's things like that that can save you in a game and help you a decent bit. So I do recommend learning to do those if you're a new Kindred player, especially because again, they can save you. They can may help you make a lot of plays, and they can also make you be able to get it like escape and stuff. Yeah. All right, now for the next one, I figured the best way to show this is just with the target dummies. So a lot of people don't understand how to use Kindred Z because a lot of people will start a gank off with Kindred Z. So what Kindred Z is, obviously it's your only form of CC in Kindred's hit because it's your only slow. A lot of people don't understand how it works, and they don't understand why they're not doing as much damage with the ability and such. because a lot of people don't realize Kindred's E does more damage based on the enemies missing out. So if I were to spawn a second target dummy here so we can make the comparison entirely fair, I have last stand on, so I don't have cut down or coup or anything, so it's not based on the enemies missing out. There's nothing else in here that's gonna affect us. So we're first gonna attack this, and I'm just going to fully stack my Conqueror here. So if I come over here until I fully stack my Conqueror, and there we go, Conqueror is fully stacked. So if I start with my E and use my full E proc here, my E did 374 damage. Now that it's low, if I use my E does 433 damage. The reason for that is, again, your E does more damage based on missing health. It starts at 5% and it scales up by 0.5% per mark. But there's also another damage modifier on this, where if the enemy is starting at 25% HP, plus 50% of your crit chance, so if you have 100% crit, add 50 to that 25%, so 75%. But if they're initially below 25% HP, it'll crit for 50% more damage. So it's even more of a benefit to use it while they're low. So if you have red buff, which already slows by autoing, or if your teammate has CC, try to hold your E till they're roughly around like 2/3 to like half HP, and use your E, especially early game, to get the missing health damage and the crit off. Another minor little tip that a lot of people don't know, but I think is very valuable, especially if you're new to Kindred, is say the enemy's on this Herald and you know you can't do anything about it. Your teammates are warding like this for some reason and trolling, and they're not putting wards over here. One thing you can do that's very, very helpful, especially as a Kindred player, you can put your mouse over the wall, use your W. Your W gets vision of this entire area. Your W essentially acts as if it's another like champion model. So during the entire duration of your W, you'll get vision of wherever Wolf is. It also cannot be shut off by pink wards and things like normal wards can. So it's really useful. Like, as you can see, I have no vision here in this red pit. I can W, it gives me vision in the red pit for the entire duration. Very good for stealing barons and dragons and things. Very useful in that. Very basic, but it's a very, very, very valuable tool. Alright, now, one of the biggest things you can do to increase your DPS while fighting that people don't do is take advantage of auto resets. So what people don't realize, or for some reason don't use it, for one, Kindred's Q gives you, you know, extra attack speed whenever you use your Q. On top of giving you the extra attack speed, like I get 35% attack speed when I Q for 4 seconds, on top of that, people don't realize Kindred's E is an auto reset. So if I were to come over here and, you know, I just auto attack, I have to wait that whole delay between my next auto attack. But if I auto Q auto, I get a second auto off immediately as soon as my Q finishes on top of the Q damage without having to wait for the delay of your auto attack. That's because Kindred's Q instantly resets the cooldown of your auto attack, so you can instantly fire off second auto. So, you know, if you were to put your E on something and then you auto Q auto, you get 2 stacks of your E right away. Versus if I were to just put my E on this, I have to auto, and then, you know, wait. I can just auto Q auto and then get the third auto off for damage. It increases your DPS a lot faster, and it's something that a lot of people should start taking advantage of because it's very, very valuable. It's one of the best things you can do while fighting champions to increase your DPS is using the auto reset. But for some reason, people like I guess new players aren't really familiar with the idea of an auto reset because the game doesn't really tell you it resets your auto cooldown like at all anywhere in there. It doesn't. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so that's how that works. It's just quick little things. Now, the first and most important tip, though, that I can give for people who want to play Kindred is mark manipulation. Now, a lot of people don't know how mark manipulation works. So, I have a lot of videos on this, and I have like dedicated videos to this. If you're very curious, I suggest looking it up. But for pretty much to explain it, so you can see this crab is marked. I have no marks, so only a scuttle crab can be marked. So this topside scuttle crab is marked. Once you have at least 1 mark, but less than 4, so 1, 2, or 3 marks, the things that can mark are the scuttle crab, or the enemy chickens, or the enemy gromp. Those are the only things that can mark. So due to that, you can manipulate the mark to force it to spawn where you want based on knowing what's alive in the enemy jungle. So if I grab this mark here really quick. Alright, so now I have 1 mark. So now if I go down bot side and I kill the this scuttle crab right here, and I kill the gromp, that means the only thing in the mark tier list that I said that can be marked would be the chickens. Which at that point, that means that after the delay, which I believe it is, how often is it? Once every 45 seconds, I think it is for marks. Does it say if you hover it? I do not believe it says. I think it's once every 45 seconds. It might be once every 40 seconds. But either way, when the next mark spawns, based on the tier set you have, that because the Gromp isn't alive and because the Scuttles are dead, the only thing that can mark is the chicken. So if I come over here, the chickens are going to be guaranteed to mark here in a second. Now, this is obviously very useful because, you know, you're going to want to be able to know where your mark's going to spawn and force the marks to spawn where you want. See, there's the chicken mark because there's nothing else that can spawn. That's the way that works. It's how mark manipulation works. It's a very, very valuable. I wanted to just show you how to do that. I will show you again here in a second. I need to just make sure where the target dummies. Right. So now we know the Gromp's dead. We know the Scuttles are dead, and we know the big chicken is dead. If the big monster is dead, it cannot spawn and can't be marked. So if I fast forward here, so the bot side's crab's going to spawn, and the Gromp should be spawning here soon. Also, I do want to mention that a level 1 Gromp still has a bug that randomly rarely happens. It's not guaranteed to happen, but a level 1 enemy Gromp sometimes will just refuse to mark and bug out and won't work at all. Again, I don't know why. I'm sure somebody's probably figured it out. I don't know why. If you don't know what level a camp is, if you click on it and you look over here at the portrait, it will show the level right there. But yeah. So now, because the big chicken's gone, the Gromp's still gone, and you can see that the only thing that's spawning now is the Scuttle, but the Gromp's actually going to spawn first. The Gromp should mark unless the Scuttle spawns too close to it, which to be fair, it's kind of 50-50, but the Gromp should theoretically mark. Yeah, see, because of the fact that it was the first thing alive and nothing else that was alive could mark, it forces the mark to be here. So now, obviously, if I kill this and then I fast forward, it will once again force the mark to be on the next thing that's alive. The chickens are still not alive, which means that this Scuttle Crab here in a second is going to have to mark because it's the only thing in the tier set that can mark. I will type out the tier sets and put them on the screen in a second as well, just because I figure it could be very useful to people. Right, this should be marking. Yep, there's the mark. And then that puts you at 4 marks. Once you hit 4 marks, the only things that can mark are the buffs, the wolves, and the krugs. So, obviously, again, for example, it works the exact same way no matter what. I come over here and I kill the wolves, the blue, and then I go kill the red. Now the only thing in the 4 to 7 mark tier that's alive is the krugs. So then the krugs have to mark, as you can see on the map. They just mark. That's just how mark manipulation works. I'm going to type out now how the marks work. If you have 0, it's Scuttle. If you have 1 to 3, it is Scuttle, wolves, or not wolves, sorry, Scuttle, Gromp, and chicken. If you have 4 to 7 marks, it is buffs, wolves, and krugs. I keep reading the name of jungle camps, I don't know why. And then obviously 8 plus is just epics, which is dragons, barons, heralds. Those are the only things. That's how marks work, right there. That's just how the Scuttle or the mark tier set works. I hope this just beginner new player tip thing helps. I hope you guys enjoy the wall hops. I hope you enjoy mark manipulation. If you didn't know about Kindred's W or E or whatever, yeah. If you do appreciate just a little bit of informative content like this, please comment down below that you enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have a good day. I will be live, I'll be live tomorrow on my Twitch, and I'll also be streaming or uploading a probably Kindred gameplay tomorrow. So thank you everyone. Like the video if you enjoyed, and comment down below, and goodbye.